Virangi Pereira, and I think she's like an angel to most of us researchers because she advises us, tells us, sends us, cautionary notes, and generally speaking, she saves our lives. So over to you, Virangi, and Mrs. Virangi Pereira is going to talk about university financial regulations and management of research project funds. Over to you. Virangi?
Yes, madam. Can I share the?
Yes, please. Sivarangi, can Virangi be given? Right, Virangi, and if you can please.
Yes, madam. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Can everybody see my presentation?
Virangi, can you go to the slideshow mode, please? Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, okay. Is it okay now?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, madam, thank you very much for inviting me for this workshop. Actually, my topic is university financial procedures and management of research project funds. I am today discuss about what are the legal provisions available and what we should know when we are preparing the payment voucher and payment procedures, and detail about the advance payments and what are the internal controls and other controls and procedures available for the inventory controls and procurement procedures and grant budget. And first one is the legal provisions. Actually, everybody should adhere to all these legal provisions. The first one, University Act and Finance Act, Establishment Code and Government Establishment Code and University Establishment Code, and financial regulations and circulars issued by the UGC and ministries, and procurement manuals and guidelines, and instructions issued by the Department of England Revenue, as well as internal circulars issued by University of Colombo. So when we are talking about the payment procedures, according to the FR, an officer who is empowered to commission suppliers, work or services shall be the authorization officer. The example, if you want to purchase a computer amounting for 100,000, according to the available circulars of the university, Vice Chancellor can give that authorization. That's a simple example for the authorization. And regarding the approval of payment voucher, according to FR 137, an officer who is empowered to approve services, works or supplies or completions and to admit claim is referred to as approving officer. he will be responsible to the accounting officer. In the university, the vice chancellor is the accounting officer. Then who is approving the payment voucher, he is responsible for the vice chancellor. These are the available payment vouchers, delegation of authorities of the university. According to the latest University Circular number 74 dated on February 12, 2021, these are the available approving limits for the payment vouchers. According to that, Dean can approve up to 300,000. More than 300,000, we have to send to the university university, the vice chancellor or registrar. According to the FR 135, the certification of payment voucher, actually this is normally doing the bursars. An officer who is empowered to certify the voucher is referred to as certifying officer. He is responsible to the accounting officer. Actually, the certifying officer is the most important because he or she is liable to check whether everything is in order and she have to sign. When we are approving the payment vouchers, the person who is approving the payment vouchers, he have to put his signature and the seal. The next one, and this is most important in the grant, the advance payment. This is the limitation, delegation of advance payment approval limit of the university. According to that, university SAR, DR, AB, AR can approve up to 25,000, Dean can approve up to 50,000, registrar 75,000, and vice chancellor can approve about 75,000 advance vouchers. And this is regarding the smaller value of repair and procurement. According to that, Dean can approve up to 15,000 and registrar up to 50,000. Above that, the vice chancellor or procurement committee must approve. So in addition to the advance payment, there are several types of advance. Mostly in the research grant, they are asking supply advance, repair advance, and some miscellaneous advance for the workshop or such as workshop. According to the FR 371, cash advances, we can give only 100,000. The maximum limit is 100,000. But for the check advances, we don't have such a limit. The permanent academic and administrative staffs are eligible to obtain an advance. One person can be obtained maximum of 2 advance at a specific time. If you are asking third advance, the 1 advance should be at least settled, or at least they have to send to the finance branch. And if you are requesting an advance, following documents must submit: a duly completed payment voucher, tentative budget for amount of the advance, and advance certificate. If you are not sending these documents, we are sending back to department. We are returning back to the department, and it will delay your advance Other one is the settlement. Actually, when we are asking the advance, normally you are putting the settlement period. According to the FR, immediately after the purpose, you have to settle the advance. If there are any cash remaining, you should return it to the shop counter. All the bills should be after the date of issuing advance. Item purchasers must enter into the consumable or fixed assets register. On approval, bills are not accepted. Actually, we are not entertaining any on approval bills. All the bills HOD should certify. And if there are any unsettled advances, actually according to the FR 371, advance should be settled within 14 days. Normally we are sending first, second and final reminder to the person. Still advance is not settled as per the decision taken at the audit committee of the university. Finance division will inform to the salaries division to deduct from their salary. And at the same time, we are informing the relevant person also. These are the available for the advance payment. And the next one is the inventory control. Actually, the most of the 1 minute, sorry. Time, chemicals we are purchasing many chemicals for the grants. So this is very important. And always the auditors are asking queries on these areas. The chemical and consumables, after we purchase the chemicals or consumable, there are inventory registers in the department. So we have to enter those chemicals and consumables to the inventory register. Both issues and receipts, both should be entered. And there are chemical codes available. If you don't know about the chemical codes, you can contact either department chemical department subject clerk or finance division. They will assist you. Then that chemical code should be maintained in inventory register. Then other one is when you are requesting a chemical, you should send with that chemical code to finance division. Then only we can check, because normally when we are receiving an issuing of the chemicals, we are updating our system. That means we are having a accounting package. We are issuing and the receipts and issuing, we are updating. Then we can check the availability of the stocks. So when you are sending request, you have to send with that chemical code.
Verangi, I have a question here. Now we are talking about research projects here.
Yes, madam.
Are you talking about the general department chemicals?
No, madam. No, madam. Even research, madam, they have to maintain that.
Yes.
Chemical.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Thank
Example, if it is in a zoology, madam, we have a separate code for the zoology department research chemical.
Chemicals are right. Yes. Right. Okay. Thank you.
And the fixed assets also same. There are fixed assets register in university and the department. So when you are purchase any fixed assets, you have to enter it into your department fixed asset register. There are a serial number in your department fixed assets register that should be maintained. And then after after payment, we are issuing a barcode indicating a 16 digits number. That sticker you should paste on the assets, because in future the board of surveys, they are going to use that barcode. When you are sending the payment voucher for the payment of that assets, you have to include fixed assets register number and inventory folio number with the payment voucher. And every year, board of survey conducted for fixed assets and chemical at the end of each year. The board of survey means the committee appointed by the vice chancellor. They will come and check whether assets or chemicals are physically available or not in the department. The next one is the procurement. Actually, this is very most important in the research grant. These are the procurement procedures. The first step is, if you want to purchase anything, that request must send to the finance branch through your HOD, head of the department, and dean with the completed specifications. So after that, finance branch will call an quotations or will call the bids according to the value of the procurement. That means sometimes we are calling national shopping. That means we just call a quotation from 3 companies or 5 companies. Or sometimes we are calling we are advertising it on a newspaper. It depends on the value of the procurement. Then after bids will open, that means whatever the company will send the quotations, then those bids will be opening at the bid opening committee at the college house. Then finance division will take them, and they will schedule and will send to the relevant person for their recommendation. Sometimes if it is the smaller value, we are not going to take a technical evaluation committee, but if it is the technical item or higher value, we will go for the technical evaluation committee also. Then we will get an approval. Approval also depend according to the value of the procurement. Then after completing the purchase approval, finance division will issue a purchase order. Then goods will receive to the department. This time the person who is handling this, sometimes they have to follow up, because sometimes companies are not responding quickly. Then payment voucher should send to the finance branch for the payments. These are the available procurement limits for the goods. Here I am talking about only goods, because most of the time in the grant we doesn't have works, that means construction or consultancy services. So here I just talk about the limits of the goods. So according to that, with the single quotations, we can get from dean approval up to 15,000. For the registrar, 50 up to 50,000. The Vice Chancellor can approve 500,000. If it is more than 500,000 to 200,000, by inviting 3 quotations, and we are going for the Department Procurement Committee, minor or major. This is the details. And it is the higher, the value is more higher. No, we are going for the national competitive bidding. That means we are advertising in newspaper, and we have, then if we are advertising a newspaper, we have to give at least 21 days. Then only the bids will open. When inviting 3 quotation or 5 quotations, the minimum period of bidding dates is 7 days. So according to that, you have to plan the purchases. And this is actually regarding the grant. I just get one simple example. This when I am doing the payments, this kind of scenario I am facing. Example here. In this budget, they are putting chemical 100,000, and the next one they have divided it to 2 for ethanol and potassium, 50,000, 50,000. Then when you are paying a payment, when you are sending a payment voucher, example, the voucher for the ethanol, if it is that payment vouchers is more than 50,000, it is little bit confused, because in your budget I am having 50,000. So I am recommending, if you can put like this chemical 100,000 without naming it, it is very easy for us to make the payments. And the capital assets and all the items like that, if you can make the not very narrow description, it is very easy for us to manage the grant budget. If you have any questions, you can forward now.
So I think our dean has posed some question. I think you have answered that question. Professor Nander had requested you to describe firstly the steps to take in advance and settling the advance. So you did that, but there was a question in the chat box asking whether what could one do if during this pandemic situation, if an advance that is taken is not used or not fully used, then what does a person do? What do we do? So we return the money and then settle it, or what should we do, Virangi?
Madam, actually these days I think stop counter also closed. So I think they have closed for 10 days. I think from last week. With that we have to check, madam. So otherwise, if there is any possibility, that means if you postpone it to 2-3 months, it's better to settle the available balance and get the new one. Yes. Otherwise, if you are going to finish it within at least 2 to 3 weeks, it is better to keep with you, because we have reasons, no? Yeah, right. And I think Professor Nader, she has also answered your query of steps to purchase an equipment and how to settle it. You have also addressed inventorizing equipment. So what are the other typical issues that you have noted, Virangi, on research grants, or are these the problems that usually are there? Actually, madam, always we are having that budget That means that we don't have budgets. That means we have a budget, but we don't have a line. So we are unable to pay that's why I told example that when we are putting like a chemical, if you can put that mean bulk amount, so it is easy for us. I don't know whether
I understand because it has happened to me several times and you have been very helpful. So what the SAB says is that first of all, you have to, when you get the grant, you have to send up a budget to the SAB
yes,
with different budget lines. And then when you are asking for advances or when you are making a procurement, you have to stick to those budget lines. But if you are going to change your budget lines, then you have to send the new budget line to the head of the department, to the dean, to reach the SAB.
yes,
Am I right? So whenever, yes, so whenever there is a procurement or advance, I think we have to send up that budget line, indicate which budget line that it is coming, it should come from, right? And so on. Do you want to add to that, Virangi?
Madam, and one more thing, and we are normally in rush when we are having procurements. Actually, that happens because of the not planned well.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I emphasize here the number of days also when we are purchasing, when we are calling quotations.
Yes.
At least we need 7 days for the national shopping. That means 3 quarter public holiday or something.
Yes.
So at least we need to give a 2 weeks. So normally we are giving 14 days.
Right.
For that. And for the approval process and everything, it will take another at least 1 week. So at least 3 weeks before,
right.
If you want something, you have to send the request to the accounts.
Right. Thank you. Then the dean has raised another question. What are the steps to recruit a research assistant on a grant? How can we do that? I think what I have been doing right along is that either we advertise or then we interview, and then when we are happy with the candidate, then issue a letter of appointment and a copy is sent to the head of the department, the dean, and also the SAB.
Yeah, madam, it was the previous. No, I think now we have to do everything by that means the recruitment we can do, but the appointment is should handled by the academic establishment branch. Then we received recently a letter from university that we have to look into, madam.
I see. I wasn't aware of that, and thank you. So can you elaborate on that? How so we select a candidate and then we have to get permission from the letter should
appointment
come
letter should issued by the academic establishment. We have to write to them.
All right, and then they issue the letter.
And the auditors also giving recommendations, say various recommendations. So the latest we receive an internal audit report on our research. So according to that internal audit reports, they are asking us to pay the EPF and ETF. Yes. Actually, we are not paying EPF, ETF for the persons, no.
Yeah.
But they are recommending that.
I see. Okay. So in that case, if it's 60,000, then we have to deduct the amount and give the rest to the RA.
Yeah, that we will like talk, madam, after.
Thank you, Ms. Virangi Perera. It was a real eye-opener, and I think the young academics now you know what to expect and whom to approach in case you want help. So thank you so very much, our senior assistant Bursa. I'm Virangi Perera, and I've been keeping the next speaker waiting for more than half an hour. I'm so sorry about that. So we have Now it's an area that I really need help in statistics. So
madam.
the next